I'm Jennifer Walsh, 29 years old. 3 weeks ago, I lost a baby I desperately wanted while my parents chose my brother's golf game over their grandchildren. The bleeding started at 2 a.m. Not the light spotting my doctor had warned me might happen. Heavy, terrifying bleeding that soaked through everything in minutes. I was 12 weeks pregnant, just past the point where I'd started to believe this baby might actually make it. My husband Derek was in Boston for a critical client presentation. He'd left the night before, kissing my still flat stomach and promising to be home by Friday. It was only Tuesday. I called my OB's emergency line with shaking hands, trying to keep my voice steady so I wouldn't wake my 18-month-old twins, Mason and Madison, sleeping in their cribs down the hall. "Jennifer, you need to get to the hospital immediately," Dr. Chin said. Her voice was calm but urgent. "This level of bleeding at 12 weeks requires immediate intervention. Can someone drive you? My husband's out of town. I'll call my parents. Make it fast. And if the bleeding increases at all, call 911. Don't wait." I hung up and dialed my mother. It rang 6 times before she answered, her voice thick with sleep. "Jennifer? It's 2 in the morning. What's wrong?" "Mom, I'm bleeding. Badly. I'm pregnant. Was pregnant, and I need to get to the hospital. Can you come watch the twins?" There was a pause. A long pause where I could hear my father asking what was going on. "Bleeding? Are you sure it's serious? You know how you tend to catastrophize medical things." My hand was literally covered in blood. "Mom, I'm losing the baby. I need emergency surgery. Please, I need you to come stay with Mason and Madison. They're asleep. You just need to be here when they wake up. Jennifer, your father and I are in Palm Springs. We're at your brother's golf tournament. Tyler's competing for a $50,000 prize. We can't just leave." I felt the room tilt. "You're 3 hours away? We've been planning this trip for months. Tyler qualified for this tournament. It's a huge deal for him. Mom, I'm having a miscarriage. I need emergency surgery." "Are you absolutely sure? Sometimes pregnancy bleeding is normal. Remember when you thought you had appendicitis and it was just gas?" I looked down at my blood-soaked pajamas. At the puddle forming on the bathroom floor. "This is not gas, Mom." My father's voice came on the line. "Honey, we paid $2,000 for this tournament weekend. The hotel, the tickets, everything. Can't you call Derek's parents?" "Derek's parents are in Florida. It would take them 8 hours to fly here." "Well, surely you have friends. Or hire a babysitter. This is exactly why people have backup plans." "I didn't plan to have a miscarriage at 2 a.m. "You're always so dramatic about everything," Mom said, taking the phone back. "I'm sure it's not as bad as you think. Just lie down with your feet elevated. If it's still bad in the morning, go to urgent care." The bleeding was getting heavier. I could feel it. "I can't wait until morning. I could bleed out." "Jennifer, don't be ridiculous. You're not going to bleed out from a miscarriage. Women have them all the time." She sighed deeply. "Fine. We'll try to leave early tomorrow. But your father already paid for tomorrow's tournament breakfast, and Tyler's tea time is at 8 a.m. We can probably leave by noon." "Noon? Mom, it's Tuesday morning. I need help now. And we're 3 hours away at your brother's important event. You need to be more understanding. The world doesn't revolve around you." Something inside me cracked. Not my heart, that would come later. Something sharper. Clearer. "You're right," I said quietly. "It doesn't revolve around me. It never has." I hung up. The bleeding intensified. I called 911. The paramedics arrived in 8 minutes. 2 women, both probably in their 30s, calm and efficient. "How far along?" the first one asked as she helped me onto the gurney. 12 weeks. Heavy bleeding for about 20 minutes now. "Any cramping?" "Yes. Getting worse." "Hey. We're going to get you to County General. They have an excellent OB emergency team." She looked around my bedroom. "Is anyone here with you?" "My twins. 18 months old. They're asleep in the nursery." "Is someone coming to watch them?" I felt the tears start. "No. My husband's in Boston. My parents are in Palm Springs and won't leave my brother's golf tournament." The second paramedic's face hardened. "They won't leave a golf tournament for their daughter's medical emergency?" "Apparently not. Do you have anyone else we can call?" I thought frantically. My best friend Emma was in Japan for work. Derek's brother lived in Seattle. My neighbor Mrs. Patterson was 78 and couldn't handle twin toddlers. Then I remembered the card Derek's mom had given me 6 months ago. Emergency childcare solutions when crisis strikes, we're there. There's a service, I said. Emergency childcare. I have the number in my phone. The first paramedic helped me dial while the second one started in 4. A woman answered on the second ring. Emergency childcare solutions, this is Patricia. I need help. My voice broke. I'm being transported to the hospital. Miscarriage. I have 18-month-old twins sleeping in their cribs. I need someone here before they wake up. Someone who knows what they're doing. Where are you located? I gave her my address. We can have 2 specialists there in 25 minutes. Twins require 2 caregivers for optimal safety. Our emergency rate is $60 per hour per caregiver with a 6-hour minimum. Fine. Whatever. Please just get here. Jennifer, I need you to breathe. We're sending Rosa and Michelle. They're both pediatric nurses with twin experience. They'll take care of your babies like they're their own. You focus on yourself right now. Thank you, I whispered. Thank you so much. As they loaded me into the ambulance, I did something I'd been doing every month for 6 years. Something I'd kept secret because I thought it made me a good daughter. I opened my banking app with trembling, blood-stained fingers. There it was. The automatic transfer I'd set up when I was 23 years old and got my first real job out of college. $3,200. Transferred on the 15th of every month to my parents' account. It started when Dad's business had a temporary setback. When Mom mentioned they might lose the house. When my brother was still in college and needed help with tuition. Just for a few months, Dad had said. Just until things stabilize. 6 years later, Dad's business had stabilized enough for golf tournaments and Palm Springs weekends. Mom had stabilized enough for spa days and shopping trips. Tyler had graduated and gotten a 6-figure job but somehow never helped with their bills. And I'd kept sending money because no one ever told me to stop. Because I thought that's what good daughters did. $3,200 a month. 12 months a year. 6 years. $230,400. Nearly $250,000 to parents who couldn't drive 3 hours to help me during a miscarriage. I canceled the automatic transfer. Then I set up a new one. Same amount, $3,200 per month, to a college fund for Mason and Madison. The paramedic squeezed my hand. You're doing great. Stay with us. But I wasn't thinking about the blood or the pain or the baby I was losing. I was thinking about how my parents had chosen golf over their grandchildren. How they'd called me dramatic while I bled out. How I'd paid for that golf tournament with money they never earned. If you're genuinely enjoying this story, could you take a moment to hit that like button? It really helps me continue creating these stories. The ER was chaos and urgency. Dr. Chin met me there already in scrubs. Jennifer, we need to do an emergency DNC. You're hemorrhaging. We need to stop the bleeding before you go into shock. The baby. Her face was gentle. I'm so sorry. There's no heartbeat. Your body is trying to miscarry but tissue is retained. That's causing the hemorrhage. I'd known. Deep down I'd known when the bleeding started. But hearing it made it real. Okay, I whispered. Do what you need to do. We'll put you under general anesthesia. The procedure takes about 20 minutes. You'll wake up in recovery. My twins. I need to call. We'll make sure you have a phone as soon as you're awake. But right now we need to move fast. As they wheeled me toward the OR, my phone rang. Dirk. Babe, I got your voicemail. Oh my God. I'm at the airport. I'll be there in 4 hours. The twins. I called my mom. She's already on a plane. She'll land in 6 hours. She's got Rosa and Michelle's contact info. She'll coordinate everything. Your mom is flying here from Florida? Of course she is. Your family. That's what family does. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry I'm not there. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. Did your parents? They're at Tyler's golf tournament. They can't leave. Silence. Then Derek's voice, cold and hard in a way I'd never heard before. They chose golf over you? Apparently. Jennifer, I swear to God. Derek, I canceled the money. The $3,200 a month. It's gone. I redirected it to the twins' college fund. Another pause. You've been sending them $3,200 a month? For 6 years. That's. I could hear him doing the math. That's over $230,000. I know. And they won't leave a golf tournament to help you? I know. The anesthesiologist was preparing the medications. We need to start, she said gently. I have to go, I told Derek. I love you. I love you too. I'll be there as soon as I can. And Jennifer? Your parents are done. You hear me? They're done. The world went fuzzy as the anesthesia took hold. I woke up in recovery to the sound of voices. 2 women arguing in the hallway. Absolutely unacceptable. Your daughter is in the hospital after emergency surgery and you're worried about money? My mother's voice. That's not fair, Patricia. You don't understand the situation. I understand perfectly. Jennifer called you at 2 a.m. hemorrhaging from a miscarriage and you chose a golf tournament. We were 3 hours away. What were we supposed to do? Drive. Immediately. Like I did from Florida. Like any decent parent would do. I tried to sit up. A nurse was there instantly. Easy. You're still woozy from anesthesia. Who's out there? Your mother-in-law arrived about an hour ago. She's been addressing some concerns. Patricia Walsh, Derek's mother, was a force of nature. She'd been a labor and delivery nurse for 30 years before retiring. She didn't tolerate nonsense. And apparently she didn't tolerate my mother. You don't get to judge us, Mom was saying. We've been good parents. We've sacrificed everything for our children. Really? Because from where I'm standing, your daughter has been sacrificing for you. Want to know how I know? Patricia, don't. Jennifer's bank records were pulled for the emergency childcare service. Standard procedure for establishing payment. You know what they found? Monthly transfers of $3,200 to your account. For 6 years. That's $230,400. Silence. Your daughter, the one currently recovering from emergency surgery to save her life, has been funding your lifestyle for 6 years. And when she needed you most, you couldn't interrupt a golf game. That money was, we thought it was. You thought it was what? A gift from the money fairy? You knew exactly where it came from. You just didn't care. My father's voice now. We're here now, aren't we? We drove straight from Palm Springs. You're 12 hours late. Your daughter went through surgery alone. Your grandchildren woke up to strangers because you wouldn't leave a golf course. The childcare service took care of it. A childcare service Jennifer had to hire from an ambulance while bleeding out because their own grandparents couldn't be bothered. The nurse helping me was trying not to smile. Your mother-in-law is something else. She's amazing, I whispered. She's been here since she landed. Wouldn't leave your side. Coordinated with the childcare team. Called your husband every hour with updates. Handled all the insurance paperwork. The nurse adjusted my four. She also banned your parents from your room until you're ready to see them. She can do that? She's listed as your medical advocate while Derek's in transit. She absolutely can do that. I heard footsteps. Patricia appeared in the doorway, her silver hair slightly disheveled, her eyes fierce. You're awake. Her face softened immediately. She came to my bedside and took my hand. How are you feeling, sweetheart? Like I lost a baby. I know. I'm so sorry. She brushed hair from my forehead. The procedure went well. No complications. You'll need to rest for a few days, but physically you'll heal. The twins. Rosa and Michelle are with them at your house. They're fed, changed, and playing. I've been video calling every hour. Mason keeps asking for Mama, but they're okay. Derek will be here in 90 minutes. He'll go straight home to relieve the caregivers. You flew here from Florida. Of course I did. You're my daughter-in-law. More than that, your family. She smiled. Plus, I've been looking for an excuse to tell your parents exactly what I think of them for years. Derek wouldn't let me. But after this, all bets are off. I heard some of that. Good. They needed to hear it. She sat in the chair beside my bed. Jennifer, I need to tell you something. When Derek called me, he told me about the money. The $230,400 you've been sending your parents. I looked away. I know it was stupid. It wasn't stupid. It was generous. Too generous. But it showed me who you are. You're someone who gives everything to the people you love. He squeezed my hand. But sweetheart, you've been giving to people who don't deserve it. Who don't value it. who take and never give back. They're my parents. They're users. And I say that as someone who raised a son to value family above everything. But family is supposed to be reciprocal. You give, they give. You show up, they show up. That's not what's happening here. The door opened. Derek burst in, still in his suit from the presentation, his face drawn and pale. Jen. He crossed to me in 3 strides, wrapping his arms around me carefully. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I wasn't here. You're here now. He pulled back, touching my face like he needed to confirm I was real. Mom filled me in. The surgery went well. You're okay. Physically. The baby. I know. His eyes filled with tears. I know. We'll grieve together. But right now I'm just grateful you're alive. Patricia stood. I'll give you two some privacy. Derek, I'm going to your house to relieve Rosa and Michelle. You stay here as long as Jennifer needs. Mom. Derek caught her hand. Thank you. For everything. That's what mothers do, honey. They show up. She looked pointedly at the door where my parents were presumably still waiting. Real mothers, anyway. After she left, Derek sat on the edge of the hospital bed holding both my hands. I talked to your parents in the hallway, he said. Before my mom got there. What did they say? Your dad asked if you were okay. Your mom asked if the hospital would let them visit despite the misunderstanding with Patricia. He took a deep breath. Then your dad asked if you'd canceled the monthly payment on purpose or if it was a banking error. I closed my eyes. Of course he did. Jennifer, I lost it. I told him that his daughter almost bled to death and his first concern was money. That you'd been funding their lifestyle for 6 years while struggling as a young mother with twins. That they didn't deserve a dime of your money or a second of your time. What did he say? That I was being disrespectful. That they'd raised you and deserved support in their retirement. That the money was just helping family, and they'd assumed it was a gift. A gift they never acknowledged or thanked me for. Exactly. Derek's voice was shaking. Then your mom said something that made me want to throw them both out of the hospital. What? She said, Jennifer's always been overly emotional about these things. She'll understand once she calms down. We're still her parents. I felt something inside me go very still. Very calm. Derek, I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to tell them they can leave. That I don't want to see them. That when I'm ready to talk I'll reach out. But right now they need to go. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. He kissed my forehead. Consider it done. I heard Derek's voice in the hallway. Firm. Final. You need to leave. Jennifer doesn't want to see you right now. My mother. That's ridiculous. We're her parents. We have a right. You have no rights here. You gave those up when you chose golf over your daughter's medical emergency. Derek, you're overreacting. Your mother has poisoned you against us. My mother told me the truth. Something you've apparently never done. My father. Now listen here, young man. No, you listen. Jennifer almost died today. She lost a baby she desperately wanted. She needed you and you weren't there. You've been taking her money for 6 years and giving nothing back. That ends now. That money was a gift. A gift you never thanked her for. A gift you treated like an entitlement. A gift that's now going to your grandchildren's college fund instead. Silence. Then my mother's voice, cold. She's going to regret this. Family is forever. She can't just cut us out. Watch her, Derek said. Now leave before I have security escort you out. I heard footsteps retreating. Then Derek was back, his face flushed with anger. They're gone. Thank you. Jen, I need to say something. I knew you were sending them money. Not how much, but I knew. And I should have questioned it. I should have asked why. I should have protected you from them. You didn't know. I should have. I should have seen the pattern. The way they always called you dramatic. The way they dismissed your needs. The way they used you. Derek. I'm serious. I'm your husband. I'm supposed to protect you from people who hurt you, even if those people are your parents. Especially if those people are your parents. I pulled him down to me. You're protecting me now. That's what matters. We held each other while I cried. Not just for the baby I'd lost, but for the parents who'd shown me exactly who they were. For the daughter I'd been, always trying to earn love that should have been free. 3 days later I was home. Patricia had stayed, sleeping in our guest room, helping with the twins, cooking meals, managing the recovery process like the nurse she'd been for 3 decades. Mason and Madison didn't understand why Mama was sad and had to rest. But they understood that Grandma Patricia was there and she gave the best hugs and made the best pancakes. Derek had taken a week off work. The client presentation had gone so well they'd landed the account, but Derek had made it clear. Family came first. Always. My parents had called 17 times. I'd answered none of them. On day 4 a letter arrived. Handwritten from my mother. Jennifer, I don't understand why you're doing this. We're your parents. We love you. We've always been there for you. Your father and I are hurt and confused by your behavior. We drove 3 hours from Palm Springs as soon as we could. We came to the hospital. We tried to visit. And Derek treated us like criminals. The money situation is a misunderstanding. We thought you were happy to help. We never asked you to send it. You did that on your own. We need you to restore the monthly payment. We've made financial decisions based on that income. Without it, we'll have to make serious sacrifices. Please stop listening to Derek's mother. She's always been jealous of our relationship with you. She's turning you against your own family. We love you. Call us. I read it twice. Then I did something I'd never done before. I wrote back. Mom and Dad, you're right that I sent the money on my own. You never explicitly asked for it. You just mentioned you were struggling and I stepped in to help. For 6 years. But you're wrong about everything else. You weren't there for me when I called at 2 a.m. hemorrhaging from a miscarriage, needing help with your grandchildren. You were at Tyler's golf tournament. You chose golf over your daughter's medical emergency. You didn't come as soon as you could. You came 12 hours later after I'd already had surgery, after Derek's mother flew in from Florida, after strangers had cared for your grandchildren because you wouldn't. The money wasn't a misunderstanding. You knew where it came from. You just never acknowledged it, never thanked me, and never thought to question why your 23-year-old daughter was sending you $3,200 every month. You've made financial decisions based on my income? Good. Now you'll make financial decisions based on your own income. Like adults. Like I had to do when I was 23 years old, funding your lifestyle while building my own life. Patricia isn't turning me against you. You did that yourselves. She just had the courage to say what I've been too afraid to acknowledge. You're users. You take and never give. You demand and never appreciate. I don't want your love if it comes with conditions. If it comes with guilt. If it only exists when I'm useful to you. I'm done. The money is gone. The access is gone. The free pass to treat me like garbage is gone. Don't contact me again unless you're ready to take real accountability for your behavior. Not excuses. Not justifications. Real accountability. Jennifer. I mailed it before I could second-guess myself. Patricia found me in the kitchen afterward, staring at nothing. You okay, sweetheart? I just told my parents to leave me alone unless they can actually apologize. He pulled me into a hug. I'm proud of you. I feel like I should feel worse. Like I should feel guilty or sad or something. Do you? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No. Oh, lighter. Like I've been carrying something heavy for years and I finally put it down. That's because you have been. You've been carrying their financial burden, their emotional burden, their expectations. You've been carrying the weight of trying to earn love that should have been given freely. She pulled back to look at me. Jennifer, you're allowed to put that down. You're allowed to say enough. What if they never change? What if I just lost my parents forever? Then you didn't lose parents. You lost users. And honey, that's not a loss. That's freedom. 2 weeks later, my brother Tyler called. Jen. It's me. I hadn't heard from Tyler in months. He usually only called when he needed something or when Mom made him. Hey Tyler. Mom told me what happened. The miscarriage. The hospital. The fight. He paused. I'm sorry. About the baby. That's rough. Thanks. But Jen, you can't cut off Mom and Dad like this. They're freaking out. Dad's talking about selling the house. Mom's crying all the time. They have to sell their house? Well, they're looking into it. The mortgage is $2,400 a month, and with the car payment and other expenses, they can't cover it on Dad's pension and Mom's part-time income. So they need the $3,200 I was sending. I mean, yeah. They kind of built their budget around it. I laughed. Actually laughed. Tyler, they built their budget around money I was sending them starting when I was 23 years old. I've sent them $230,400 over 6 years. They never once thanked me or acknowledged where it came from. Silence. That much. That much. I didn't know you were sending them that kind of money. They didn't tell you? Weird. They told me about every dime they spent on you. Your college tuition. Your car. Your graduation gift. Your job interview suit. Jen. When I had a miscarriage and called them at 2 a.m. bleeding and scared, needing help with my twins, they said no. They were at your golf tournament. They couldn't leave because you were competing for a prize. I didn't know that. Mom just said you had a medical thing, but you were being dramatic about it. A medical thing? Tyler, I had emergency surgery. Almost bled out. I lost a baby. My voice was rising. And our parents chose your golf game over my life. That's not. They came to the hospital later, right? 12 hours later. After Derek's mom flew in from Florida. After I'd already had surgery. After strangers took care of their grandchildren because they wouldn't. Long pause. Shit, Jen. I didn't know. No one ever tells you the whole story, do they? You just get mom's version. Where I'm dramatic and unreasonable and causing problems. What do you want me to do? Nothing. This isn't your problem to fix. But Tyler, if mom and dad need money, maybe you should help them. You make 6 figures. You live in a paid-off condo they bought you as a graduation gift. Maybe it's your turn to be the good child. I have expenses. So do I. I have 18-month-old twins. I just lost a baby. I'm recovering from surgery. But somehow I managed to send mom and dad $3,200 a month for 6 years. I'm sure you can figure something out. Jen, come on. I have to go. Mason's crying. Bye, Tyler. I hung up. Derek had been listening from the doorway. Tyler wants you to fix it? Tyler wants someone else to fix it. Preferably me. Because that's always been my role. He came over and wrapped his arms around me from behind. I'm sorry your family is like this. I have a family. The twins. Your mom. That's enough. 1 month after the miscarriage, my parents' lawyer sent a letter. They were suing me for financial abandonment and breach of oral contract. I called Derek's lawyer immediately. Marcus Levine was a sharp corporate attorney who'd handled our house closing and wills. Jennifer, this is nonsense, Marcus said after reviewing the letter. There's no such thing as financial abandonment in this context. And they'd have to prove an oral contract existed, which requires consideration, terms, and mutual agreement. Did you ever sign anything? Agree to specific terms? No. I just started sending money when they said they needed help. They never asked me to stop. Then they have no case. But they're clearly trying to intimidate you into resuming payments. What do I do? We send a response. We outline the facts. You voluntarily provided financial assistance with no contractual obligation. You ceased that assistance at your discretion. You owe them nothing legally or morally. He paused. Jennifer, if you want, we can go further. We can countersue for emotional distress based on their refusal to help during your medical emergency. Would that work? Probably not. But it would send a message that you're not backing down. Do it. Marcus drafted a response so comprehensive, so devastating in its documentation of my parents' behavior, that their lawyer withdrew the suit within a week. But the letter accomplished something else. It laid out in legal language every terrible thing my parents had done. Asterisk refused emergency assistance to their daughter during life-threatening medical crisis. Asterisk abandoned care responsibilities for their grandchildren. Asterisk accepted $230,400 over 6 years without acknowledgement or gratitude. Asterisk demanded continued payments despite daughter's medical trauma and financial needs. Asterisk attempted legal intimidation when free money stopped. My parents' lawyer had called Marcus personally. My clients didn't tell me the full story. I wouldn't have taken this case if I'd known. Please convey my apologies to Ms. Walsh. 3 months after the miscarriage, Derek and I went to therapy. We needed help processing the loss, the family betrayal, all of it. Our therapist, Dr. Reeves, listened to the whole story over 2 sessions. Jennifer, I want you to do an exercise, she said. I want you to list everything you've given your parents over the years. Not just money. Everything. I thought about it. Then I started listing. Money. $230,400 total. Time. Hours and hours helping them move, organizing their garage, managing their medical appointments. Emotional labor. Always being available when they needed to vent or needed advice. Grandchildren. Mason and Madison, who they've seen maybe 20 times in 18 months. Forgiveness. For missed birthdays, forgotten holidays, constant criticism. Free passes. For calling me dramatic, for dismissing my needs, for favoring Tyler. Now list what they've given you in the past 6 years. I sat in silence. Jennifer, what have they given you? Criticism. Disappointment. Guilt. Anything positive? I thought harder. They came to the twins' birth. They stayed for 2 hours. They came to my college graduation. They gave me a card with $50. In 6 years, during which you gave them nearly $250,000 and countless hours of labor and emotional support, they gave you $50 and brief appearances at major life events. Seeing it laid out like that broke something open in me. I've been in a one-way relationship with my parents my entire adult life. Yes, Dr. Reeves said gently. And probably before that too. You just didn't have the perspective to see it. Why did I keep giving? Because you were hoping that eventually if you gave enough they'd give back. They'd see your worth. They'd love you the way you deserved. She leaned forward. But Jennifer, some people are takers. They'll take everything you offer and ask for more. They'll never be satisfied because the problem isn't how much you're giving. The problem is who they are. Derek took my hand. Your parents will likely never understand why you cut them off, Dr. Reeves continued. In their minds they'll always be the victims. You'll always be the ungrateful daughter. And you need to make peace with that. How? By accepting that their opinion of you doesn't define your worth. By building a life with people who actually value you. By letting go of the fantasy of who you wish they were and accepting who they actually are. 6 months after the miscarriage, I got pregnant again. We didn't tell anyone for weeks. We were terrified. Every twinge, every moment of discomfort sent me into panic. But at 20 weeks we had the anatomy scan. Healthy baby girl. Strong heartbeat. Everything perfect. Patricia cried when we told her. I'm going to be a grandmother again. A real grandmother this time. You're already a real grandmother, Derek said. Mason and Madison love you. I know. But this one I'll get to know from the beginning. She hugged me carefully. Jennifer, I'm so happy for you both. We're not telling my parents, I said. I need you to know that. When the baby comes they won't know. They won't be invited to meet her. I understand. And I support you completely. At 32 weeks I got an email from my mother. The first contact in 6 months. Jennifer, your cousin Amanda told me she saw you at the grocery store. She said you're pregnant. Very pregnant. I can't believe you didn't tell us. We're going to be grandparents again and we had to hear it from a cousin? This is cruel. Whatever you think we did wrong, we don't deserve this. We deserve to know our grandchildren. We'll be at the hospital when you deliver. We have a right to meet our granddaughter. I didn't respond. Instead, I called the hospital and put them on a no-access list. The staff assured me that without being on my approved visitor list, they wouldn't even be told I was there. At 38 weeks I went into labor. Patricia drove me to the hospital while Derek stayed with the twins. Elena Rose Walsh was born at 3:47 a.m. Perfect. Healthy. Beautiful. Patricia was in the delivery room cutting the cord, crying happy tears. She's gorgeous, Patricia whispered. Absolutely perfect. My parents showed up at the hospital 6 hours later. I know because security called my room. Ms. Walsh, there are 2 people here claiming to be your parents. They're demanding to see you and the baby. They're not on your approved list. Don't let them up. I don't want to see them. Understood. We'll handle it. 20 minutes later, Patricia's phone rang. My mother's number. Don't answer it, I said. I'm not. But Jennifer, they're going to escalate. He was right. Over the next 2 days in the hospital my parents tried everything. Asterisk called the hospital repeatedly claiming emergency. Asterisk showed up at visiting hours claiming they had permission. Asterisk called Derek's phone over and over. Asterisk sent Tyler to check on me. Asterisk had my aunt call saying it was cruel to keep grandparents away. We ignored all of it. When we came home there were flowers on the doorstep. A card. Congratulations on our new granddaughter. We can't wait to meet her. Love, Grandma and Grandpa. Derek threw them in the trash. They don't get to do this, he said. They don't get to pretend everything's fine and claim a relationship with Elena that they haven't earned. 1 year after Elena was born on her first birthday, my parents sent a gift. A large box containing a silver baby brush and mirror set, expensive and engraved. To our precious granddaughter Elena. With love from Grandma and Grandpa. There was a note for me. Jennifer, we've given you space like you asked. It's been over a year. Surely that's enough time for you to calm down and see reason. We're sorry if we hurt you. We never meant to. We love you and we want to be part of our grandchildren's lives. Can we please start over? Mom and Dad. I read it 3 times. Looking for real accountability. For understanding of what they'd actually done wrong. All I found was sorry if we hurt you, the classic non-apology. And the implication that I was the problem, the one who needed to calm down and see reason. I packed the gift back up and mailed it back with a note. Mom and Dad. Sorry if we hurt you, isn't an apology. It's a dismissal. Real accountability would sound like, we're sorry we refused to help during your medical emergency. We were wrong to prioritize a golf tournament over your life. We were wrong to take your money for 6 years without acknowledgement. We understand why you set boundaries and we respect them. Until you can offer real accountability, we have nothing to discuss. Don't send gifts for children you haven't met and don't have a relationship with. Don't pretend everything's fine. Don't ask me to start over when you haven't addressed what went wrong in the first place. If you ever want a real relationship with me or my children, it starts with honesty. With taking responsibility. With understanding that you damaged our relationship and it's your job to repair it, not mine. Jennifer. I never heard back. 2 years after cutting off my parents, I ran into my mother at Target. The same store where I'd bought Elena's first birthday outfit. She looked older. Tired. She was pushing a cart with generic brands. A far cry from the name brands she used to insist on. Jennifer. She stopped. Her eyes went to Elena in my cart, now 2 years old. Then to the twins who were 4 and holding onto the cart sides. Mom. They're so big. I can't believe how big they are. Kids grow. That's what they do. Elena looks like you did at that age. So I've heard. We stood there in awkward silence. Jennifer, can we talk? Please. About what? About fixing this. About being a family again. We were never a family, Mom. We were a one-way relationship where I gave everything and you took it. That's not fair. It's completely fair. I gave you $230,400. I gave you time, energy, emotional labor. And when I needed you most, when I was bleeding, losing a baby, terrified and alone, you chose golf. She flinched. I've apologized for that. No, you haven't. You said, sorry if I hurt you. That's not an apology. That's a deflection. What do you want me to say? I want you to say, I was wrong. I chose a golf tournament over my daughter's medical emergency and it was unforgivable. I took your money for 6 years and never once thanked you or acknowledged your sacrifice. I treated you like an ATM and a burden instead of a daughter. I was a bad mother and I'm sorry. She looked stunned. That's cruel. That's honest. And if you can't be honest about what you did, we can't move forward. Jennifer, please. Your father and I are struggling. We had to downsize. We're living in a small condo now. We can barely afford. Stop. I held up my hand. Don't tell me about your financial struggles. I don't care. You made choices. You built a lifestyle on money that wasn't yours. You took advantage of your daughter's generosity. Now you live with the consequences. We're your parents. DNA doesn't make you parents. Showing up does. And you've never shown up for me. Not when it mattered. Mason tugged my sleeve. Mama, can we go? This lady is making you sad. My mother's eyes filled with tears. I'm not this lady. I'm your grandmother. No, I said firmly. You're not. Their grandmother is Patricia. She's the one who shows up. Who flies across the country when we need her. Who knows their favorite foods and their bedtime routines. You're just someone they don't know. I started pushing the cart away. Jennifer, wait. Please. I'm sorry. Really sorry. For all of it. I stopped. Turn back. Prove it. Get therapy. Figure out why you treat people this way. Do actual work on yourself. Then maybe in a year or two we can try a supervised visit. Maybe. A year or two? You had 6 years of my money and 18 months of my children's lives that you didn't bother to be part of. You can wait a year or two to see if I'm willing to give you another chance. I didn't wait for her response. My name is Jennifer Walsh. I'm 31 years old. I'm a mother of 3, a wife and a daughter-in-law to the best mother-in-law in the world. I used to be a daughter too. But I learned that being someone's child doesn't obligate you to fund their lifestyle or accept their mistreatment. 2 years ago, I had a miscarriage and my parents chose my brother's golf tournament over helping with their grandchildren. I was sending them $3,200 a month, $230,400 over 6 years, and they couldn't spare 3 hours to drive to my emergency. So I stopped the payments. I cut them off. I set boundaries. And I built a family with people who actually show up. Who choose me. Who value me as more than a source of money and convenience. Derek's mother flew from Florida to be there during my surgery. She banned my parents from my hospital room. She told them exactly what they were. And she's been my children's real grandmother ever since. I've lost a lot. I lost a baby I wanted desperately. I lost the parents I wished I had. I lost the fantasy of what family was supposed to be. But I gained so much more. Peace. Self-respect. A clear understanding of my worth. Children who will grow up knowing that love doesn't come with conditions. That family is who shows up. If there's anyone out there who's been the family ATM, who's been funding their own mistreatment, who's been told they're dramatic when they express legitimate needs, I want you to know something. You are not obligated to maintain relationships with people who only love what you provide. You are allowed to stop funding people who refuse to show up for you. You are allowed to protect yourself and your children from toxic people, even if those people are your parents. And if walking away means losing people who never really valued you in the first place, that's not loss. That's freedom. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're listening from. And if you've set boundaries with family members who treated you like an ATM, you're not alone. We're all out here building better lives one boundary at a time.